Good morning, students. This video is going to explain about the secure shell SSH as well as the SSH protocol, stack protocols, and its authentication and connection protocols, and for port forwarding function which is going to be there in the secure shell. So it's a module number 1, networks and cyber security topic. Let's we discuss about in detail about the secured shell hash algorithm. What actually is secured shell? Secured shell is a protocol for secure network communication designed to be relatively simple and inexpensive to implement. The initial version SSH 1 was focused on providing a secure remote logon facility to replace Telnet and other remote logon schemes that provided no security. SSH also provides a more general client server capability and can be used for such network functions, a file transfer or an email. A new version SSH 2 fixes a number of security flaws in the original scheme. So SSH 2 is documented as a proposed standard in IETF record format 4250 through 4256. So here the SSH client and server applications are widely available for most operating systems. It has become the method of choice for remote logon and externaling and is rapidly becoming one of the most pervasive applications for encryption technology outside the embedded system. So here the SSH is organized as three protocols that are typically run on the top of the TCP. For example, transport layer protocol, user authentication protocol, connection protocol. What actually a transport layer protocol, which provides is server authentication, data confidentiality, and data integrity with forward secrecy. And one session, the knowledge does not affect the security of the earlier session. And one more thing, if a key is going to be comprised during one session, that the knowledge does not affect the security of earlier sessions. The transport layer may optionally provide the compression techniques also. And the user authentication protocol, which authenticates the user to the server. And the connection protocol, which is going to be used as a multiplexing logical communication channels over a single or underlying SSH protocols. Let's we discuss about an transport layer protocol. If you're going to see about the transport layer protocol, so the host key is going to be the main thing over here. This host key, which a server authentication occurs at the transport layer based on the server processing a public or a private key pair. So a server may be multiple host keys using a multiple different asymmetric encryption algorithm. Sometimes a multiple host may share the same host key also. In any case, the server host key is used during the key exchange to authenticate the identity of the host. For this purpose to be possible, the client must have a prior knowledge of the server's public host key. For example, which has been indicated in the record format 4251, which dictates two alternative trust models that can be used. First one is nothing but the client as a local database that associate each host name with the corresponding public host key. This method requires no centralized administrative infrastructure and no third-party coordination. So the downside is that the database of name to key association may become burdensome to maintain. What happened the second one, the host name to key association is going to be certified by a trusted certification authority called as CA, certificate authority. The client only knows the certificate authority root key and can verify the validity of all host key certified by accepted certification authorities. This alternative is the maintenance problem since ideally only a single CA key needs to be securely stored on the client. On the other end, what happened? Each host key must be appropriately certified by a central authority before authorization is going to be get possible. Such a way it's going to be get present over there. So the user authentication protocol, which authenticates the user to the server, as well as the connection protocol, which is going to multiplex the multiple communication channels over a single or underlying SSH connection. Let's see about how the SSH transport layer protocol is going to do its function in an appropriate way. For example, the packet exchange. So the packet exchange, if you're going to see about that, the sequence of the events in the SSH and the transport layer protocol, which is going to be describe the packet exchange over there. In general, if you're going to see about this, by seeing a diagram, with the help of a small diagram, we can see about this. So this diagram, which is going to illustrate the sequences of the event in the SSH transport layer protocol. For example, the first, the client is going to be establishing a TCP connection to this TCP connection to the server. Later, this is done via the TCP protocol and is not part of the transport layer protocol. Okay, once the connection is going to be get established, the client and the server can start the exchange of data. Let us see how it's going to be doing its process. So in general, if you're going to see about that, this exchange, the establishment of key, which is going to be done by the particular client to the server with the help of handshake protocol. Already we have come across over there in the last video. The SSH, which is going to provide a proto version, software version, and it's going to give the same, client will send and server will exchange, and algorithm which is going to be negotiated by the client with the help of the message to the server will be authenticating the same kind of algorithm. Then a key exchange is going to be get processed. During this key exchange, it's going to share the keys, a new key which will be given from the client to the server, as well as server will give that one. With the help of that, the end of the key exchange states will be completed. And finally, what happened? The service will be requested by the client to the server. So with the service request message, it's going to starts its exchange of data. So such a way the data are going to be exchanged in this transport layer protocol. And move on to this next one, the SSH transport layer protocol, how the packet formation is going to be made over there. With the diagram, we can see about that. So this diagram, which is going to be an SSH packet, how actually it's going to do its process. A payload which is going to be get compressed, and along with that the sequence number is going to be appended, and after that it's going to do an encryption, and along with the sequence number which is going to be get magged, and that is going to be appended along with that one. Such a way we are going to create the SSH packet. Let me see how it's going to be. So here, if you're going to see about that, the data field of TCP segment, which is going to be shown here, each packet which is having the packet length, packet padding length, payload, random padding, message authentication code, and it's consisting of the identification string. Let us see one by one over there.